When we hear Pokemon, we usually think about the animated series and, of course, the video games. But last year, on October, a Japanese trailer dropped for a TV series called Pocket Niboken no Tsumikonde, or as it has been translated by fans, Pack Your Pocket with Adventure, which is a series, a 10 episode live action drama TV series about a young woman fresh out of university who starts work at a company that gives her a bit of a hard time. And so one day her mom sends her a package with some of her stuff, among which is her old Game Boy. And then out of nostalgia, she boots up her old copy of Pokemon Red and starts playing. Um, and then what starts as her just playing for pleasure and to get her mind off of things ends up being her realizing that what she accomplishes in the game translates to, or rather becomes something that she can use in her real life, in her work life. Like in the first episode, for example, um, she goes up against gym leader Brock with her Charmander and finds that fire ain't very effective against rock types, and coincidentally she's dealing with a difficult customer in her company, or in the company she works at. And then she realizes that just like Pokemon have types in Pokemon, types advantages and type weaknesses, so too do people have different types, and it matters how you approach people, especially with customers. What do they like? What do they dislike? What are their values? And then try to appeal to that. So and then I'm not gonna spoil the rest of the show, but what's genius about it is that throughout the whole series, sometimes it feels a bit rushed, but can't help it. I still think it's great. To jump ahead a bit, what's great about it is that we follow Madoka. That's the girl. Madoka. We follow her work life and her personal life side by side with the video game, and there are constant parallels where what happens in the game she learns from that and uses in her real life. Her co-workers that also start off being a bit unhelpful, and they are distancing themselves a bit. They get compared to her Pokemon in the game. So and again, it's kind of like what happens in the game happens in real life, kind of like the horror game Stay Alive, but just this isn't horror. It's a very sweet, very heartwarming slice of life kind of TV show. Very down to earth. Bunch of likable characters. The soundtrack is great. They really go all the way with the gaming aspect, because it's not only that plot wise that what happens in the game happens in real life and vice versa. It's also the sound effects, the chiptune sound effects from the game are being used in real life at appropriate times. Of course, it doesn't become intrusive or feel out of place or goofy or any of that. Um, but sound is being used very effectively, and again, cutting back and forth between real life and the game is very well done. So it's a show I can wholeheartedly recommend to both Pokemon fans and fans who are nostalgic for Gen 1. Unfortunately, it isn't officially available with English subtitles. This is a Blu-ray copy I ordered off of the internet. without subs, but there is a channel on YouTube that has the whole show with English subs. So I'll link to that down below. Super sweet series, and yeah, I know that when people think Pokemon, first and foremost we think about the animated series and the games, of course. So this is a very alternate take, but I think it works really well, and it's a perspective on Pokemon we haven't really seen before. I mean, games that blend with real life is something we have seen before, but trust me on this, the way they are doing it in this series is at the same time familiar, but also new in a way. And again, the constant parallels makes the show feel very smart. When I saw the trailer for this show, which was pure coincidence because I think it was IGN or some other news outlet, they posted they tweeted about the show. Again, a Japanese tweet, because there's no English material available about this show. But when I saw the trailer for the show, you know that feeling when you know that you have something special, like just watching the trailer, you know you have something special at hand. And it's not to say that again, not spoiling, but I personally didn't find that all 10 episodes were perfect. Some were a little weaker than others, especially because in some of them the the problem or the plot got resolved a bit too quickly. But for what it's worth, I think it does what it sets out to do extremely well, and there are more legitimately good episodes than there are mediocre or bad ones. There were several episodes where I sat down afterwards and was like, that hit me right here. And again, no spoiling. This is purely my personal opinion. You're welcome. You're more than welcome to form your own. But I also think that the show ended where it needed to. It wasn't one of those shows where I was sitting there like, it was an okay show, but the ending totally sucked. No, not here. I do have a couple of minor plot related issues with the show if I really have to pick it apart, but by and large, I think we have a winner here, and that's also why I think it's a darn shame that it's not officially available outside of Japan. I think they often keep all of the good stuff to themselves for some reason. And I mean, it's Pokemon, for Christ's sake. It's Pokemon. Of course, it's gonna sell here. I don't know if it's because it's set in Japan that maybe they are like, it wouldn't sell well in the West. Screw that. TV Tokyo or Pokemon Company or whoever is responsible for this TV series, if you're listening, if you're seeing this, not likely you are, but if you are, make this readily available for people in the West. They are gonna love it. I loved it. I consider this one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Granted, I don't watch a whole lot of them, so that shoots down my credibility, but it's one of those feel-good TV shows that just hits home. So yeah, wholeheartedly recommend it, and yeah, stay tuned. Pack your adventures with pockets, other way around. Pack your pockets with adventure. See ya.